Morning everyone, heading up now through some of the loveliest grassland here in Queensland, around the Acadia Valley. I headed off yesterday. I had to drop a pup off to some people up near Krakow, and so I headed through Gomerri, picked up a new pair of Harriet Roper boots that I use, and swung around through Gayndah, Mundabra, and head out towards the Auburn River and then out through to Krakow, and then up through to Theodore, heading up here now to Rolleston, Springshore, and finally up to Barcaldine. As I'm going along here, it just makes me think, makes me reflect. The one thing that I really did reflect on was when I met these people yesterday, Kyle and Jody Cormack there, dropped off this little pup that they love, and the two boys there, they're great young fellas, great young bush lads, very keen trappers and very good at it too. Drop a pup off and you just see the love that's there for a young pup. These are good, just down-to-earth people, not buttering them up or anything. If you're watching guys, you're my type of people. The other couple we met there with them as well were selling back rubbers for cattle. Everyday good people, and people like I met yesterday, people like I met today, whatever here, that never think themselves better than anybody. Well, let's put it this way, they don't think themselves any better than anybody that gets off their bum and has a go and cares about other people. If you're indecent and you don't care, or you're nasty, you're horrible to other people, and they don't want to have anything to do with you, that's their right, I believe. If you're willing to have a go, get out there and have a crack, give it a red hot shot, these people don't care whether you're black, white or brindle. They're my type of people, they're Judy's type of people. It made me reflect. Everywhere I go around this country, I meet people like that, everywhere. Good, hard, working, decent. I see them as the best people. And I believe all around the world we've got the same thing, and so many people that get on the channel here and comment, and I watch them, and a few of them are elitists. You see some of them, they've got the big high opinions. I'll write a big screed about how much they know better than me or anybody else, and I try to humour those people. I try to just leave them there just so people can look and say, I don't want to be like that. And all I can say is, this world is heading towards probably the biggest test, I believe the biggest test of humanity that has ever been. We're in a war now. It's not a war against state to state. This is a war against good and evil. And evil and hate is rearing its head. Good people have got to stand together. That'll be the message for this morning as I head up here to Barky. Stick together, good people, because you're going to be needed. Things are going to turn rough. Okay, we're here at the at this first property up here near Barcaldine, Barky. Nice temperatures. It's not too hot. I think it's going to be good. That side of it. Probably pretty cold in the mornings. Right, I've set the truck up. I've got the old crowbar and the 22 in there. I've got a dozen jakes in the back and all the gear for setting. Plenty of scents. I'll chuck two of the dogs in and we'll actually go over here and we'll just start looking around this afternoon and just see what we can see. This is a fenced area. It's got goats in it, about 16,000 odd acres. And I think when they fenced it in, they fenced a mob of dogs in. So it's probably really important we get them nailed down. We get them, especially if there's a breeding bitch in there. So it's probably not a big number property inside there, but there's lot of country out here, probably another 90,000 acres. So I'll set up in there first inside the enclosure, and then we'll come out here and we'll set up further around the hills here. And let's go for our 1 to 2 dogs a day. See how we go. You right there? Well, we have started. It's always good to be out first morning, real early, and just get an idea of what tracks are on the roads. Get into it, get the job done. Dad was a Kiwi, pretty tough old character at that. A lot of people watching this probably remember Dad, and yeah, what he would have gone through in New Zealand, the extremes of temperature over there, just about legendary. But he always said to me when he went out around Durham Bandy and St George shooting kangaroos, when he first came over here to Australia in about 54, he said he's never been so cold in his whole bloody life. He expected it to be it was hot in Australia and whatever, but the temperatures before daybreak would drop down so low, and they do still out there and out here. It gets pretty cold, and yeah, just the extremes to go from so hot during the day to so freezing cold at night. Yeah, it rocked him. He said the coldest he'd ever been in his life. Right, we've come here to the first main sort of creek. Let him up, just see what you can find, dogs. Could be worth a go over there. Right, so for an added degree of difficulty, this is all gate country, and I think there's 2,000 odd gates they've got in this fenced area. So you can just bet your boots that they're going to check everything I do as well. I hope I don't catch any. I think they should pull out, but we've just got to expect that we're going to get wrecked by gates. It'll be a bit of a change from sheep and cattle. I think I'll just put one here by this tree, even though the dogs didn't mark on it. I think I'll turn it into a marking spot, and it's just a good tree, good pass through. Dog's showing a bit of interest over there. So I'll put another one here, so one either side. The dogs are marking along here a little bit. I think it's just because they wanted to go to the loo. There's going to be enough scent around here from my dogs that I think any dog that passes through here is going to have a look. It's going to be inquisitive. So put 2 traps here and let's see. Okay, that's set number 1. I'll put 2 traps in there, a squeaker and a camera. I set one with chicken feathers. One of Judy's Wyandotte roosters got killed in a pretty big dust up with the other roosters, and he'll come in handy there. So one with feathers on one side of the road, the other side urine and a squeaker and a camera looking over both of them. So move on to the next one. This is a pretty good looking pinch point down here though. If a dog's going to go through quick, this is where I'd expect him to go through. And if there's dogs travelling through this area, this is the sort of place you'd think that they would go through. It's a great creek area, so there's still a chance of picking up something dead or dying down in this creek. Usually anything that's in trouble or dying they'll go to your creek lines. At the moment, I can't see a track. There we go. Dog track there. Dogs come around the edge of it. Oh, and here, scratch, see? Scratch marks. Really good, that's a good spot, a really good spot. And that'll complement the other traps that are up at the corner. Yeah, really good spot. Might even put 2 in here as well. It's only 100 metres from the first 2 traps, but I think they will assist each other. Like if you caught a dog in one, you could quite easily get his mate in the next set, or vice versa. And just because they're coming down the road doesn't mean they'll go through the creek, and the same thing, going through the creek doesn't mean they'll go up the road. Well, here, Mossy, come here, Moss. This looks to be a great spot, right? It's overflowing from this this tank here. It's all artesian water. Overflowing here, it's a nice wet area. Well, this is the sort of place that you'd think a dog would check. So let's just check around the sides here. There, wallaby. Bird. Wallaby. If there's a dog in the area, he will have gone past here. A lot of other sign, cattle, goat, wallaby, heaps of roos. Here, there's a dog track. Right there. Right. Across there. This one. Now that's not much sign to go on, but it is sign. Cattle are going to wreck everything I put here. I just got to be careful. I'll see if I might be able to close in a little area over there that I can actually keep these cattle out of. Pull these couple of steel posts up. Broken wire, we'll pull that up. You know, it was a lady, a female that invented barbed wire. No bloke could be that nasty. Sorry, girls. I've got one trap at the base of that beefwood, and I've got one opposing on this little bloodwood, and then on the other side over here, I've put an outlying trap on the where those 3 trees are over there, in case there's a dog caught here and his mate circling around. One thing I noticed as I came through this gateway, pulled up here, and this is the neighbour's country out here. See, it's got a barb on the top, 15 centimetre spacings, and it gradually gets smaller and smaller down to the bottom. It's got the last few meshes are on the ground. But the first thing I see, I look through here, is the dog tracks on that side of the fence are noticeable. Obvious, there's quite a few dogs on the outside trying to get in. A dingo, a wild dog, is one heck of a cunning thing, and if he can find a way, he will. What would happen if I said the magic bogey word? I'm not going to say bogey though. No. Sort of place that could be a dingo or a bull pig held up here, but we've come at it with their wind right up our tail, and unfortunately I think I would have given plenty of notice to anything that were coming. Still a good place to look for a track, isn't it, Brandon, eh? And Bungie. Bungie. You might make it, mate. I'll go for a walk around the water's edge here and see if there's any tracks. Even got foot, even got a live track. Right on, we just walk right around that dam and not a track, not an old track, new track, nothing. Interesting. I was rolling along here, and I reckon I could see something on the fence that looked a little bit strange. Pressured up the top there, see the wires are being sprung, and the gaps are being spread apart down the bottom there, spread apart there. And I get over here, and there's a dingo tree right there. Righto, this is a good place to set. Definitely a dog coming through here. Well, to me this is too good an opportunity to miss. Definitely a dog's been there last night. It's gone through that hole. So I've got the one right in his footsteps, right where he'll be standing to go through. And I'll put another one here. And I've got some chicken feathers of this rooster of Judy's that died. And just put a little bit of bitch's urine on top of this bit of wood, the feathers underneath it. So if a dog's on the outside, which we've seen plenty of dogs sign on the outside, they come along here, they'll smell that, they'll look at it and they'll go, how do we get in there? That's the obvious place. If the dog's on the inside, the chances are I might pick a dog up here before it goes through the fence. If I picked up one here and there was two of them and the other one decided to get out, well then there's a good chance of picking him up there. So it could be a double whammy here of just making sure these two traps are far enough apart that they don't, set off on the one dog. I'm just using a bit of foam under the pan on the jakes. I haven't had time to actually work on these traps. I haven't checked any spring tension, pan tension. I don't think it needs it when you've got the foam underneath it. When you've got the good, like this underlay foam underneath it, I think it does a great job in giving the right tension to that pan anyway. So I'm just going to run with that. Okay. Not too bad. It's pretty firm straight away. Put a few handfuls around the edges. That can be a bit coarser material. Fill in my gap with coarse material. Make sure nothing can jam up that mechanism. Pack that in. Make sure you get out the air gaps. Pick up all your debris around the outside so that it looks nice and neat. Ones you don't want, get rid of them. Okay, we'll put the fines. top, and that doesn't look too bad. Right, and I'll probably put just a little bit of a stepping stick there, and maybe something, a piece of cow dung or something here, just to make them walk in there. I think we've got two really good sets here. Right, let's see if we can find some other spots, other breaches in the security. Okay, this is the sort of place that's very hard for anybody with one of these predator fences to keep fully dog proof. Imagine the water that comes roaring through here when it's in full flood. There's a dog print right there. Good boy, Bungie. What do you got there, mate? You're sniffing pretty hard here. Well, Bungie, he's like a bit slow. He's just, yeah, he's a bit slow, but I love him. He's such a kind-hearted big galoot, but he's only young yet, but he's showing a real ability to sniff things out. He really has got a great nose on him, and he's doing a good job here. He's going around, he's got something. He's marking, actually. Good boy. We might try a trap there where he tells me to. And here, well, the ties have broken. So all the dog has to do is get up here and he's straight through. Straight through. So that's 3 breaches of security so far we found. So that is a problem with trying to keep dogs out. And there's an old saying, if you want to try and make something predator proof, get a bucket of water and chuck it against the fence. And if you can stop the water going through, you'll stop the foxes, the cats and the dogs. We've come up into this beautiful little creek crossing here. Lovely little area. And goats, yeah, there's a lot of goat tracks here. The first thing I see on the wheel tracks is a dog track right here. And there's a dog track right there too. Quilp. First day out on the trap line, isn't it? Right. First day out on the trap line, yeah. Good boy. He's no shrinking violet, this little fella. No. Bonk. He just wants to be in on everything. I thought, should I take him along? He's only 8 weeks old. But he got his first pig the other day. Just, yeah, unbelievable. Little sucker came out, shot the mother, and little sucker come out, and as we were grabbing it, he flew in and grabbed hold of it. We grabbed it by the back leg, and he's trying to bite this pig, and it's more times he tried to nip it, it's squealing at him, and he thought, this is good, this is good. So, yeah. He's got a good chance, this boy, of being something special. So, what I like to do is get them out when, they're only really young like this, and get them out and get them used to things. Being around the other dogs. Uncle Brandon will help you. Righto, back to trapping. How do I get a trap in here that the goats won't wreck and I won't catch a little goat in it? Most of them are billies in here now, so they get in and they'll pull straight out. But I still don't want to wreck in the sets. Use my head. See what Brandon comes up with. Alright, that's a good mark down there, Brandon. The goat sign there. Probably tuck one in there on a drag, put a little drag there. Anything there? Find a dingo. Where's the dingo? 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 Hunt him up, hunt him up. Where's the dingo? Hunt him up, hunt him up. What's he's indicating there? What you got? What's in there? Good girl. What was there? Oh, there's an old scat there. Righto, so that's worth a go. In there. Well done. Okay, 3 more good sets there. Hopefully they'll survive the goats, kangaroos and everything else. But yeah, definitely a good sign here from last night. So I'm sort of looking now, I reckon we've got 2 to 5 dogs in here. Not a lot of animals. But they're very important ones because I think these are coming in here especially to kill goats. Just poke along this fence line here, and I've got, I reckon, 2 dogs have been here last night. A lot of wallaby sign, a lot of cattle, but there's been 2 dogs here. You can race out and whack a couple of traps in as soon as you see sign, but oftentimes you're putting traps then in places where they're too hard to get to. So what I'm going to do is just follow this along and see where they've gone and see if I can develop a bit of a pattern here, whether they've done this more than once, whether they're going to water, or there might be a spot down here that's like cattle proof and make it a lot easier to put your traps in and keep them active. I think that's up to 17 now. I might get another one in on the way back here, but there's good sign in this gully. There's dogs across through here last night, and one real big dog by the look. So I've set 2 in there. Trying to keep little Bozo happy here. He's been good, but I think he's had enough too this afternoon. So, right, we'll head back. I reckon we've got a minimum of 5 dogs. A minimum of 5 dogs. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get one tonight, so it's looking good. Good trap line, I like it. It's interesting to see what we get tonight. So thanks everybody for your support. The one thing that I was wanting to say is there's a lot of great people out there that are trapping that I'm running into. Young bloke just the other day, young Tom Brown. And I think this young fellow has caught about 20 dogs off one carcass, one beast carcass there. And only a young bloke, but geez, doing well. And yeah, I'd like to shout out to him. Keep up the good work, mate.